And I think Dr. Maitri, who spoke in the morning, told us about various other tests that we can do for male infertility. But advanced paternal age is something I think we need to counsel the couple when they come to us, particularly when the paternal age is more than 45. We also know that male infertility is a window to a man's health, as against female infertility, when most of them are actually fertile and healthy. But in men, when there is male infertility, it is often related to large number of male infertility. We see that all cancers have a moderate increase, particularly testicular cancers. And that is one time I always say that when you take testicular samples at TISA, please send a small sample for histopathology, because there is almost a 0.2% testicular carcinoma in situ. And even if you don't give them a pregnancy, the man will be happy that you have picked up early cancers in such men. And with autoimmune disorders, rheumatoid sclerosis, multiple sclerosis, Graves' disease, and diabetes has a link to who has got abnormal semen parameters. I think it is an opportunity for you to investigate them more for their health, and also which will help them to get more fitter and better. I take the example of PCOS. When you get a PCOS woman, we tell her to lose weight, we tell her to get into lifestyle change. This is a graph which shows you advanced paternal age and autism. And I don't think I need to tell you anything more to tell you how the incidence of autism rises exponentially with paternal age. Again, advanced paternal age and schizophrenias, you can see the incidence has almost doubled as compared to fathers who are in their 20s or early 30s. Now, what are the thresholds for sperm DNA fragmentation? We know that when the fragmentation is less than 20%, most of the patients would not have any issues. When the fragmentation is between 20 to 25%, around 10% of men would need help. And when the fragmentation goes more than 25%, almost a third of these patients would need assistance to conceive. We know that we use antioxidants, and these are meant to increase the ROS. But important is, as I said, lifestyle changes that should be addressed even to men and not only to women. So obesity, smoking, alcohol, irregular diets or lack of exercise is something that is very important, and antioxidants help to reduce apoptosis, it helps to reduce the ROS, and in turn it will help to reduce the sperm DNA fragmentation and possibly the mutations that can happen with increased DNA fragmentation.
Of the media, the understanding the rising prevalence of infertility in India, why has there been an increase in the cases over the past decade? If any of dignitaries could address that.
If at all we look at the previous two generations, the age of marriage was 18, now India has brought it down to 21. So that itself advancing age of the woman. The second thing is our exposure to various chemicals and toxins, what we call as endocrine disruptors. Certainly from the time a child is born, a child is fed with a bottle, a plastic bottle, that itself is an endocrine disruptor. And the kind of hormones we are exposed to, whether it is in our food or the environment, so all these have an effect. Along with that, our importance, the importance we as women or we as men give importance to our careers, thereby postponing the age of marriage, postponing the age for pregnancy. These are some of the few causes which are increasing the infertility trend in India.
In the section of men, earlier men were generally very healthy, apparently healthy, because people would walk from point A to point B, use of vehicles were less, and use of electronic gadgets like mobile, laptop, and spending time on TV, that was not much. About 20-25 years ago, people were generally much healthier. With the current practices, everyone carries 2 cell phones, exposure to mobile radiation has become extensive, exercising pattern has become less, obesity is worsening, habits like smoking, alcohol consumption have become very routine. Along with this, there is something that has been changing in our genetic pattern. The genetic pattern is basically an influence of your environment. As Dr. Meghna mentioned, the endocrine disruptors, exposure to plastic, radiation, all this has brought down the general ability, and it has become altering factors for our human genes to make strong gametes, strong sperms and strong eggs. In addition to this, people have gone on to become fathers and mothers at a much later age. The healthy age to conceive has been left behind, and they chase their careers at that time, and then they go to parent the child, trying to control the nature. You cannot control nature.
Age, and then she'll also become she'll become like accessible to so many other conditions, and she can become a patient like with PCO or with fibroids, endometriosis or adenomyosis. All this will decrease her chance for pregnancy. Once again, she'll become a patient requiring further evaluation and management. So, of course, as Sir said, there is never no for any kind of diseases. Similarly, even for couples who are having difficulty in conceiving, many treatment options are available, and if a couple or if a woman decides to plan her pregnancy later, social egg freezing is one important aspect which she should keep in mind. So, and now knowledge is something which is easily available because of Google, internet. This concept has to be spread, and this awareness has to be made amongst women who are planning their pregnancy later. Social egg freezing should be considered as an option, because as the age increases, the chance for pregnancy reduces, pregnancy complications can increase, so it is better that she plans her egg freezing at least at a younger age.
First and foremost is the kind of investigations to do. First, I would say that the information which we give, because most of the times what we follow is basically Hollywood. So our people see the Hollywood actors, they say they got pregnant at 42, it doesn't happen, because as a race, we Indians tend to age earlier as far as our reproductive age is concerned. Now coming to the newer aspects, certainly we have multiple aspects like different approaches to ovarian stimulation for women who require IVF, like dual stimulation, wherein we don't waste time giving 2 stimulations in one cycle so that we get more number of eggs, more number of embryos. Then we have certain tests to do on the embryos, what we call as pre-implantation genetic testing, thereby where we have the opportunity to put a single embryo only, because whenever we put more than one embryo, there is always a risk of multiple pregnancy, and with that comes a lot of other complications during pregnancy. Then we can also choose the best embryo, thereby giving her the best chance of conception in the first pregnancy itself.
Condition called as azoospermia. That means they have 0 sperms in their ejaculate sample. How can they possibly father a child? We have advanced surgeries, starting from the techniques where we use a very high-end microscope. We go into the testicle, select a particular area where the sperm production is happening, which we call as microdissection testicular sperm extraction, micro-TCE in short. We take these sperms and with help of our embryologist and IVF lab, we can create pregnancies in even such couple. If they have good quality sperm production, we can even do some beautiful reconstructive surgeries wherein they can start ejaculating their sperms and even conceive naturally in many cases. These are all possible and available with our center. We can cater to a lot of patients with these conditions now.
Today's conclaves focus on comprehensiveness in fertility treatment. Is so key and crucial. We see in very different fields, of course, we have seen in oncology gynecology integrated approach. At Milan, it's the same. As you can see, we have expert andrologists, we have expert fetal medicine, reproductive health, and we have embryology, a fantastic embryology team. The reason being it has to be a comprehensive approach for treatment. We have added nutritionists, psychologists, genetic counselors. This is what patients are expecting. This is why this conclave is such an important step towards having a team approach.
ಈಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮದು ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜನ್ರೇಷನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೀಳಿಗೆಯವರು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಳಿಗೆಯವರು ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಒಂದು ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಜಾಬ್ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಂತ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದು ಜೀವನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಂಗಸರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು 15 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೆಂಗಸಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಋತುಚಕ್ರ ಶುರುವಾದಮೇಲೆ ಋತುಚಕ್ರ ಮುಗಿಯೋ ತನಕ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಮುಗಿಯೋ ತನಕ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು 32-33 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ನಮ್ಮದು ಅಂಡಾಣುಗಳ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏರುಪೇರು ಶುರುವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡಾಣುಗಳ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಗರ್ಭ ಧರಿಸೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇರೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಬುದ್ಧಿಮಾಂದ್ಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇವಾಗ ಡೌನ್ ಸಿಂಡ್ರೋಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಆಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇರೋವಂಥ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹುಟ್ಟೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಹೆಂಗಸಿನ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದು ಇವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಕ್ಲೇವ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಸ್ಪೀಕರು ಗಂಡಸಿನ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬರೀ ಹೆಂಗಸು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಬಂಜತನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದು 50% ಹೆಂಗಸರದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೂ 50% ಗಂಡಸರದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೆಂಗಸಿನ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಒಂದು 35 ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಗಂಡಸಿನ ವಯಸ್ಸು 45 ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಾಗೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೀ ಕನ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೀ ಕನ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂತ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆನಾ, ಆ ಥರ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಉಪಶಮನ ಇದೆನಾ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೋದು. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ರಕ್ತ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ ಹೆಂಗಸರಿಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಅಲ್ಟ್ರಾಸೌಂಡ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ಟ್ರಾಸೌಂಡ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆನಾ. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಥೈರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂತ, PCOS ಅಂತ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಥರದ್ದು ನಾವು ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ತಕ್ಕದ ಒಂದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಪುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 30% ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕತ್ತೆ. ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ಗರ್ಭಿಣಿ ಆಗೋ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಗಂಡಸರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೆಮೆನ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರು ವೀರ್ಯಾಣು ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆನಾ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಅವರ ಚಿಕ್ಕಮ್ಮಂದ್ರಿಗಾಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಸೋದರತೆಯರಿಗಾಗಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗೋದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸತಿ ಗರ್ಭ ನಿಂತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಬಾರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಥರ ಇರುವಾಗಲೂ ಅವರು ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಬಂದು ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಇದೆನಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ.